So one of the things that we talk about every morning is blood sugar and how bad it is for you, right? We all hear about that, right?
Yeah, we do. Yes.
That's all we talk about, seems like, every day, and that's all that we talk about with patients every day. So, what we wanted to do is, most people think that they don't have a problem with blood sugar because their doctor will tell them what? What do they say?
Your fasting glucose is normal.
Yeah, or it's borderline. They'll tell them that too.
Yeah, and that's fine.
Like my mom's was 105 and they said that that's fine. That's, you know, that's pre-diabetes. She had all the signs of pre-diabetes. So obviously that's not good enough, okay? So what I want to do is put together a list of 9 pretty telltale signs that you've got a problem with blood sugar, okay? One is if you are overweight. Now there's all different types of weight and height and weight systems and stuff like that. But what you've got to look at is, I mean, just look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, do you have weight to lose? If you have weight to lose, that is a very good sign that you've got a blood sugar issue, okay? You don't need a chart or a height and chart thing to tell you whether you're overweight or not, right? Right. Okay. 2, if you're a woman and you've got a waist over 35, that's at the belly button, or a man with a waist over 40, that is a telltale sign that you've got a problem with blood sugar. That's a very easy thing, just measure yourself. Number 3, 1 or more of the following positive lab tests. Okay, if any one of these is positive, you need to actually assess this further. Okay, first of all, is your fasting blood sugars over 85? Yes, they say that it's normal up to 100, and some lab tests even say 105, but between 85 and 95, that's when you're brewing a big problem. Okay, so it doesn't mean that it's okay. It means that it needs to be taken care of. But because of the fact that the way that labs are set up, they either say that you're healthy or sick. There's no in between. What we're talking about is for optimum health. Does that all make sense?
Yeah. Right.
Good. All right. Your H1AC, which is a measure of how much damage is done to the red blood cells in your system by sugar. If it's over 4.5, you definitely have a problem. Fasting insulin, if that's over 3, you definitely have a problem. That means you have circulating insulin that's higher than normal all the time, okay? And people with pre-diabetes, their fasting insulin levels can be between 4 and 7 times what they should be, which means they've got rampant inflammation, okay? Triglycerides over 80. If you've got triglycerides over 80, what it means is that you've got so much sugar in your system that your body is converting that into triglycerides to then convert it into cholesterol. Yes, blood sugar, having high blood sugar is usually what causes high cholesterol. Okay, there may be some genetic link, but it's usually just a problem with blood sugar. If your HDLs are under 55, I'm not sure exactly how that works, but if your HDLs are under 55, that's usually indicative of a problem with blood sugar metabolism. Or if you have high blood pressure. Okay, high blood pressure causes high blood sugar causes high insulin levels, which actually increases blood pressure. Okay, so all these people that are being put on blood pressure meds, most of them have blood sugar issues, because I've seen in my office that when you go and you get people on a low sugar diet and you get their insulin levels down, all of a sudden their blood pressure comes back down to normal. And I've seen it just incredible sometimes. I mean, I had one person that she's dropped her blood pressure, oh my gosh, she's dropped it over 100 points easily, which is incredible, okay? Another thing is if you have chronic pain. This isn't always due to high blood sugar, but usually high blood sugar and high insulin levels is a part of this. Autoimmune conditions. Because what happens is when you have high blood sugar or blood sugar issues and it raises insulin, it'll suppress your immune system, which will give you an autoimmune condition. That's part of it. Chronic infection, once again, with high insulin, you're going to see suppression of the immune system, and so you're going to get chronic infections. Okay? All these people with Lyme disease, almost all of them have problems with blood sugar. I had Lyme disease myself, and it was partly a blood sugar issue. Okay? In fact, it's very, very hard to have a chronic infection if you don't have a blood sugar issue, because your immune system will kill off whatever's in it most of the time. Okay? If you have hormonal problems, you know what we're talking about. Irritability, anxiety, sleeplessness, hot flashes, all that kind of thing. They're almost always linked to blood sugar. Almost always, always. Even in people that you would think don't have a problem. Like I had a woman come in and she was eating, you know, the right foods, and she wasn't eating any non-organic stuff. I mean, she was eating all the right stuff. When she counted her carbohydrates, she was up too high, and they were giving her hormonal issues. Very, very common. Fertility issues. This goes right in line with PCOS. Everybody that has PCOS that I've seen has high fasting insulin levels, has high testosterone, and it basically messes with their hormones. If these people bring their blood sugar back down to normal, oftentimes PCOS goes away and fertility issues actually improve. PCOS is what's called polycystic ovarian syndrome. It's a syndrome where you have, I mean, by diagnosis, the way that they diagnose it is you have cysts on your ovaries, you have high insulin and high testosterone. The high insulin in a woman will give them high testosterone. Okay? So if you have any of these things, you need to assess this further. So what do we do? Now, how do you assess them? So usually what a medical doctor will tell you is, listen, if your fasting insulin or your fasting blood sugar is below 100, you're okay. But that's not good enough, okay? Because your body is always trying to keep its fasting insulin down. And so what it'll do is it'll throw off, it's trying to keep its blood sugar down. So what happens is, in an effort to keep the blood sugar down, your insulin will skyrocket like this. Your testosterone in a male will go down, whereas in a female will go. It'll basically throw off everything. Okay, so the last thing to show up is fasting blood sugar issues. Does this all make sense? You guys understand this?
Yes.
Okay, good. So glucose is the last thing that goes off the charts when you have a problem with blood sugar, not the first thing. Okay? So, that being said, I went through and I listed, by the way, this will be listed downstairs in a link. Can you hold in, please? This will be listed underneath the video with a link with this article, okay? So you can share this with everybody. But these are optimal lab tests. Now what I will tell you is you can order them, you can go to your doctor and say, I want all these tests taken. And I would bring in an exact printout. I would not say, I want this, I want this, because usually what they'll do is they'll say, your insurance only covers this or this or this. I would insist on this, okay? If you have a problem getting these, you can call my office, no matter where you are, okay? How much is the whole battery of tests? $86 plus $7 for the draw-free from, what's the company that does that?
Professional Lab.
Professional what?
Professional Lab Corp.
Okay, so basically we have a lab co-op that gives us a discount. So if you want any of these, just call our office, okay? Like I said before, if you have a fasting insulin or blood glucose, the optimum is 75 to 85. Over 85, you're developing pathology, okay? Fasting insulin should be below 3. H1AC, remember that's the measure of how much damage your blood cells are getting from circulating glucose. That's too high. That should be below 4.5. Triglycerides should be between 70 and 80. Your HDLs should be over 55. Your CRP, this is what's called C-reactive protein. This is a measure of inflammation. Okay? It should be below 1. For optimum health, it should be below 0.5. I've seen people come in with CRP levels of like 20 and stuff like that, and they have massive inflammation. Okay? That is really bad. That's a sign, when you have a high CRP, and this is over 85, and fasting insulin is above 3, what that tells you is that basically your blood sugar and insulin levels are too high, and they're causing inflammation going through your system. Inflammation is known to be part of all disorders at this point. I mean, cancer, heart disease, diabetes, autoimmune conditions, hormonal issues, all those, okay? The ESR, the SED rate, this is also a measure of inflammation. This should be below 6. Okay, I've seen people come in with 20, 30, 40, 50, stuff like that. It's linked to blood sugar, okay? Like I said, get these taken. All of them don't settle for just a fasting blood glucose. Get them all taken. Okay, if your doctor doesn't want to do it, call our office, we'll order them for you. No big deal. Okay, so what do you do about this? So if you find out that you're not in the optimum, I'm going to give you a quick rundown. You can look at all the other videos for a breakdown of each one of these, okay? But steps for better health, this is also a step to get your blood sugar down, insulin down, and get your inflammation down. One is lower your daily carb intake to below 70 grams, okay? That is for optimum health, okay? Just start counting the carbohydrates that you're eating and get them down to below 70. This will reverse blood sugar issues in about 90% of people I've seen. It gets almost everybody better. 2, increase your fibrous veggies, 6 to 10 servings a day. That is a lot. Get in as much as you can. What do you mean by fibrous veggies? What are some fibrous veggies?
Kale.
Kale?
Spinach.
Spinach?
Lettuce.
Lettuce? Brussels sprouts?
Cabbage.
Cabbage? Yeah, you get the point. Basically the non-starchy veggies. Okay, increase your fibrous veggies. You get a lot of them at each meal. A handful of fats at each meal. The easiest thing to do is like I eat a handful of nuts at each meal. That's a way to help balance blood sugar because fats do not affect blood sugar and fiber helps to bring it down in the nuts. Okay, 4, serving of protein in each meal. This will also help to stabilize blood sugar. You want a serving of protein the size of your palm 3 times a day. Eat 3 meals per day, no snacking. This is important. There's the way that I learned nutrition is you should eat 6 times a day. You know, 3 meals and 3 small snacks, and that almost gave me diabetes. So basically, you don't want snacking. You don't want to keep on feeding your body because every time that you eat, your blood sugar will go up and your insulin will go up. Okay, if you keep it up too long, you'll develop diabetes or pre-diabetes. Okay, so just 3 small meals per day. And then also, if you want more information, take a look at our YouTube channel. Okay, we've got a lot of videos. You can come to a free nutrition class. Our links are linked down below. And that's about it. Okay, is there any questions on this? Do you guys understand this all a little better now?
Yes.
I like the steps.
Do you like the steps?
Yeah, because we can pick one we want to focus on more.
If you do, well, try to get them all done.
Right,
But what
right.
you can do is work to getting these steps in. Like when my patients come in, the first thing I do is have them write down what they're eating so that they know what they're eating, and then I have them count their carbohydrates so that they know where they're at. And so once we get their carbs down, then we start working on increasing protein and fat and veggies. The first thing you've got to do is cut down that sugar though. I mean, that's a monster problem, and it sneaks in there everywhere. People don't realize, one thing I almost hear from every single patient when they count is they have no idea how much they were eating. They were like, oh my gosh, it's 3 times what I thought. I had a patient come in and she said, I'm eating no sugar, and her carb count was at 300 per day. And she had a rampant chronic infection. It was horrible. And once she got that down, back down below 100, and we gave her supplements for her immune system, it cleared up in like 2 days. It was amazing. So you'll see that.
So how are you supposed to increase your veggies if veggies are all carbs?
Well, what you do is you get down the other carbs, and so you put veggies in. Okay, so instead of having bread with your meals, have veggies. Instead of having fruit with your meals, although you can have a little bit of fruit, have veggies. Okay, try to base your, like if you have a plate, it should be 3/4 veggies. I know, right? Veggies, the forgotten food. Any other questions? All right, good. Well, join me for tomorrow. If you like this video, like it, share it, and take a look at the links down below because we'll have a link for this actual article. I'll have it all written out, and you can bring it to your doctor. Thanks.